This film story is about an overweight professor named Sherman Klump. He was not only fleshy but also stupid. Due to this, all students used to make fun of him. He is also entangled in a tremendous deal of problems one day as a result of his foolishness. When he visits college on a day and observes that more than 5,000 hamsters are spreading here and there. These hamsters resemble rats. Now they have spread to this extent that they have spread in people's pants, sandwiches, and everywhere. It is revealed after investigation that how did these hamster free? It is known here that Sherman did not know on a day, and a button had pressed with his chubby tummy, and all hamsters freed because of pressing that button. Now they are wandering in the whole college here and there. This trouble was going on in the college. Then Sherman goes to his favorite hamster. This hamster is also overweight like him, and Sherman and his team are working on an experiment in which they reconstruct DNA again, and morbidly obese people will be able to reduce their weight easily. Now the same experiment has been conducted on his favorite hamster. The outcome of experiment appears positive, and the weight of the hamster is immediately reduced. Now they have known how useful this formula is, how it works in speed. Now a man who works along with Sherman, he says to Sherman, "We may give the high dose of this formula to these hamsters." But Sherman declares, no. Overdosing may harm it in such a way. After this, Dean calls Sherman in his office, and he discusses the whole incident with him of which he is responsible. Due to this, hamsters have spread throughout the college. Now Dean tells Sherman, the happening occurred because of you. There is great loss of the departmental funds. He advises Sherman, be careful about the experiment that you conduct in the laboratory. Now I am warning you. I will never bear such a blunder next time, because there is great donator of his college who will donate a lot of money to him, and they don't wish as they may lose their great donator at any cost. In the further scene, Sherman is shown who was stating something on the board, and his written statement were also being erased because of his fleshy tummy, and all students are laughing at him while observing him. Then another teacher enters in the same room who is chemistry graduate. He says to Sherman, coming there, she loves the working of Sherman, and she always wanted to meet with Sherman. In the next scene, Sherman takes dinner along with his whole family, and his all family members are so fleshy. But his father has no issue on this. He says that it is his proud to be morbidly obese, and they have no issue at all on this. Sherman's father says to him that you can do everything in your life except one thing. Never think to lose your weight. And you will not lose your weight. There are also some habits of his father on which all are making fun. His family members are laughing at him, but it is totally disliked by Sherman. When Sherman comes outside, then her mother says to him, you are very charming. You are best as you are. Never feel disappointment about you. Sherman becomes so confident on the compliments of his mother, and he asks that chemistry graduate teach to come with him for meal. And that teacher also accepts his offer to go for meal fortunately. And they both decide to meet with each other on Friday. Later, Sherman returns to home as being excited. Then he watches TV where a hostess is saying, we can do this. Sherman also utters with her, yes, I can do this, and I will lose my weight. When 3 days were left to meet that teacher, Sherman also joins the gym club. He also takes some classes there. Due to this, his weight may reduce, but he will have to do a great effort to lose his weight. Finally, that day is approached and Sherman goes to a club along with that chemistry teacher. There was a humorist who was making fun of everyone's look there. When he glimpses Sherman, he makes the target of Sherman of his laughter. Now he was cutting jokes with Sherman one by one, and he was making the people laugh. Hearing all these words, Sherman gets worried. Chemistry teacher says to him when he returns with her, don't worry. Sherman gratifies her. But he was still disturbed by heart. He had lost his hope to reduce his weight at all. He takes much junk food when he returns at home. Otherwise, he had also struggled much to lose his weight. He falls asleep while eating. He dreams that Sherman has suffered a great heart attack because of his overweight. Moreover, Sherman's weight is increased in hospital that he starts inflating. And he becomes biggest in size than the building of hospital. And he destroys the whole city. Then he wakes up. Now Sherman thinks there is no positive effect. Even he practiced gym and took healthy diet. So he decides to apply that experimental serum on him. Now Sherman moves to the laboratory at night and prepares that formula. and he injects that formula in his body. At the beginning, it seems this experiment will be flopped, because Sherman's heartbeat is gone fast. There is received a mail in computer as Sherman comes outside. That reconstruction of DNA has remained successful. It means that DNA has been altered. Sherman is left astonished when he goes in front of the mirror, waking up next morning. Because he had become so slim, he himself was also not believing in him. How is it possible? He was shedding tears in happiness. Now Sherman moves outside after being happy, and he continues to scream everywhere. He says, "Look at me. How smarter I have become." First of all, he visits shopping mall and he continues to praise him, wearing the variety of suits. He says, "Look, I look like a model star." Next day, same chemistry teacher comes to him, but she is unable to recognize Sherman. It is obvious that Sherman had reduced much weight of him. Now Sherman also did not want to tell her, who is he? He also did not want that he may see him with an old identity. He tells her here his fake identity as he is a lab assistant. He also flirts with her and offers her to accompany to the club. But chemistry teacher does not agree, but she agrees because he was insisting time and again. He was talking with her that his hand begins to be puffy. He understands this, that he is going to convert into that chubby man again. He quickly moves the chemistry teacher out, so he may not recognize him. After a time, when this chemistry teacher meets with Sherman. Now Sherman had turned to chubby, so chemistry teacher tells him about Buddy. Sherman says to her, "You must meet him, he is very gentleman." In the next scene, Buddy is seen who is Sherman in reality. But he has turned slim now. In his slim condition, he will be called by the name Buddy. Further, Buddy reaches club, driving in a sport car. Now he was riding in sports car comfortably, where he never found himself adjusted there. Now chemistry teacher arrives here and Buddy and teacher enter the club. There was also the same comedian as before, who made fun of everyone. He greets all in that club. When he tries again to humiliate Buddy. At this time, Buddy was so confident because he was not chubby like previous time. He retaliates him in such a way which causes the humiliation of that comedian. Now this comedian and Buddy argument in a great extent here that a war starts between them, and they call it a mock war. Buddy wins in the end of this war. Now this comedian tries to attack Buddy, because all were applauding Buddy, appreciating him. And chemistry teacher also inspires from Buddy here. She thinks how much confident he is. They are communicating and enjoying here. Then that chemistry teacher observes that Buddy's lower lip is becoming puffy slowly, and Buddy's hands are also puffing up. Buddy leaves that place while excusing before her, "I am caught with any type of infection." At the same time, Sherman's lab assistant also reaches there, and he observes Sherman's ID card in the hand of a waiter. And he thinks this card had been taken from Buddy by waiter. Now he thinks as Buddy has stolen the card of Sherman professor. Now this assistant gets into a car with Buddy, who was driving away. And he is shocked, seeing this. How chubby was Buddy becoming in the car again? And he is turned into Sherman professor all of a sudden. Now assistant had caught Sherman. What is he actually doing? He had known this, that Buddy and Sherman are the same guys. Afterwards, lab assistant is seen who brings Sherman out of the car after slicing the car's part, because he was not getting space to come out of the car door. Next day, Sherman had got late when he goes to deliver the lecture in the class. But students were not in the class, only Dean was there. He was in full rage. He tells Sherman about his sport car, who had been purchased from the account payment of Sherman by Buddy. Now Dean forgives him here because he spent a lot of money at this time. Dean will terminate him from his job if he spends more money again. He threatens him, he will kill him if he did so again. He tells Sherman, "We have arranged a meeting with our great donator of college." He says to Sherman, "You will have to convince him while delivering a speech to him, so he may fund you for your weight loss serum." After this, Sherman goes to that chemistry teacher and asks her that there was your meal with Buddy, how it had been. Then chemistry teacher says to him, she is not understanding a little bit, either she loves Buddy or not. His behavior sometimes seems normal and sometimes mysterious. Then Sherman invites her saying, "Why do you not take dinner with my family tonight?" He invites her for dinner. Now chemistry teacher accepts this invitation to dine with Sherman's family. She feels much uncomfortable when she goes there for dinner, because Sherman's family members are putting on her the strange queries. When Sherman is dropping chemistry teacher after this bad experience of dinner, then he apologizes her for the misbehavior of his family members. Chemistry teacher expects this as Buddy will call her again. Now Sherman had understood this here. If he wants to maintain a good relationship with chemistry teacher, then he will have to be in a relationship with her with the identity of Buddy. He again takes the serum and turns into a slim Buddy. The lab assistant was not satisfied with this. He says to Sherman, "Your hormones level is increased when you take this serum. If you keep taking this serum, Buddy, it will govern your body. Your personality will be changed properly. You act strangely whenever you take the serum and turns into Buddy. You don't be mature like before." Lab assistant also tries his best to stop Buddy, but he flees after dodging him. Buddy accompanies chemistry teacher to hotel at the same night. It is the same hotel where their college donator is waiting for the presentation, where Sherman had to represent something about his created serum. Now Sherman was not there. Chemistry teacher says to Buddy, "Represent his formula in place of Sherman." Now Buddy represents Sherman's experimental formula before everyone. He represents also skillfully that everyone thinks that he should be credited completely. This is not liked at all to the chemistry teacher, because she knew that all efforts have been done by Sherman, and Buddy is getting the credit. And he was also flirting many of the girls there, because his body's hormonal level had more increased. Seeing Buddy as such, chemistry teacher gets aggressive. She moves away after leaving him there. Now Buddy was not being affected by this because his personality was entirely changed. Now Dean had much inspired from Buddy here. Now he says to him that he will award him the seat of Sherman in the college. For this, he had to represent this idea before the head for one more time. Buddy had strayed in his life, and he was spending much of his time with many of the girls. Then it is seen that Buddy is again turns into Sherman again. Sherman was not getting anything as to what is going on with him, that he is suffering from a dual personality disorder. The chemistry teacher also approached us there when he was with many girls. He thinks, coming there, that Sherman is like Buddy. Sherman could not defend him before her because he was also unable to understand this. What is going on this? Afterwards, he goes to the office where Dean says to him that he has terminated him, because Dean had given the seat of Sherman to Buddy, and he had no knowledge about this as Sherman is Buddy. A screen is displayed there accidentally by Sherman, where he checks a message there left for Sherman by Buddy. Buddy had conveyed to him, "Your life is so tedious. Take this serum and change yourself forever." Buddy was provoking Sherman but in vain. Sherman wastes all serum, moving to the laboratory. He will never take it again. Then Sherman takes a sip of a drink, but he did not know that Buddy has mixed that serum in this drink. Now Sherman is again altered into Buddy. He begins to act strangely, going into the bar again. The lab assistant observes a warning message on the computer, where he sees that Buddy's hormonal level has more increased. Sherman will be disappeared from the scene if he takes this serum again, and the personality of Buddy will sustain in him forever. Buddy is seen while entering the bar. Everyone was casting a glance at him. Buddy was not under his control now. He begins to represent himself there. All were left astonished, seeing the energy of serum. When Buddy is going to take another dose of serum, then lab assistant stops him, coming there. Now that the lab assistant had stopped Buddy to take another dose, his hands were puffing out again, and his body is also becoming puffy with this. And he again alters into Sherman. All presented people there, including chemistry teacher and Sherman's parents, are shocked. Sherman tells all, "I conducted this experiment on me for this cause, so I may help all those who are chubby, and they have also health issues. But I have known this now. This experiment is not as good as we had thought. In the end, we have concluded that everyone should accept himself as he is, and I should also accept myself. I should work hard rather than to depend on the serum. I will have to make my body healthy while practicing gym and taking healthy diet." Now Sherman was so worried here, and he is leaving the hall in this condition. Meanwhile, chemistry teacher stops him and says, "I have no concern with your physical appearance. I like your soul." In the end, Sherman and chemistry teacher are seen dancing. That donator is also seen who had to donate funds to Sherman's college. He is telling Dean that he will surely donate funds to Sherman, because Sherman's speech has touched his heart. In spite of this, Sherman's experiment has flopped. But this experiment has proved that Sherman is an outstanding scientist. And the movie completes on this scene.